all know about the yo-yo, a fun, sometimes frustrating toy that probably has a place in everyone's childhood memories. What we probably don't know is that there's a very involved subculture of yo-yo enthusiasts who take the sport very seriously. SCC is lucky enough to have a show on Channel 15 that displays the talent, as well as commitment, and the fun of the yo-yo.
I am Kirby Kirkessler.
And I'm Josh Parker. It's 11 a.m. on Saturday morning, so take a load off and enjoy a near-perfect show. I'm calling it right now.
That's ballsy.
And it's time for Stringburn Live.
If it's your first time watching the show, you should know that Stringburn Live broadcasts live every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Central, which is UTC minus 6 hours.
Well, that's 12 noon Eastern.
10 a.m. Mountain.
And 9 a.m. Pacific. We're going to start the show off this week with a segment called Viewer Feedback, where we read your emails and play your voicemails on the show.
After that, we move on to the news segment where we recap news that we gather from various stores, forums, and blogs. If you have any news that we've missed or you're afraid we're going to miss, please email it to us at stringburnlive@gmail.com.
That's right. And then we do an in-depth review of a yo-yo. This week we are reviewing the Enigma, which was generously donated by I Love Yo-Yo.
There we go. Now it's above the thing. Get it? Makes me look awkward, though. Anywho, after the review, we have a trick tutorial segment where we have a local yo-yoer in the studio to teach us a new trick. This week we have local yo-yoer Alex Barringale, who will be teaching Derek Britson, that's your last name, I knew it, his trick, cheddar and sour cream, was it? Yeah. Sour cream and cheddar, something like that?
Nice.
Cheddar and sour cream, yeah.
And then we conclude each episode by giving you the opportunity to win the yo-yo that we reviewed earlier in the show. The winner will also receive 10 G-strings donated by Paul Wallace at yoyogstring.com and a Terrapin X bearing for the Enigma donated by Terrapin X. So you won't want to miss that.
So joining me in the studio today is Dan Reifenberger, Josh Schlichting. How you doing, guys?
Good. Doing good.
Why don't you go ahead and start by telling me exactly what Stringburn Live is?
Well, it's a show about yo-yos. Yeah, it's the yo-yo community is kind of out there and throwing yo-yos and having fun with it, and there really wasn't any media, any rich media kind of supporting the yo-yo community. The yo-yo community likes to make videos and stuff like that, but there was nobody kind of aggregating and centralizing that and kind of making it into a hosted entertainment kind of show, and so that's what we wanted to do with it. And the industry's actually changed quite a bit. It's gone from all the little plastic yo-yos and stuff that you buy in the store to kind of cottage stores that make custom aluminum yo-yos.
Yeah, it's like akin to like maybe the beer industry. There's a few big brewers, but there's a lot of micro brewers, a lot of micro yo-yo manufacturers that make just short runs. Sometimes they don't get out of their region, maybe 100 yo-yos at a time or something like that, and that's a large part of what the yo-yo community is today.
Very cool. Well, it kind of leads into my next question, maybe, but is that how the idea for the show came around? Just because you kind of wanted to centralize all the information from the yo-yo? Maybe.
Yep. We wanted to have it be kind of a news source for yo-yoers, a place where people could watch and interact with everybody, meet new people maybe in the chat room, because there's a live chat room incorporated with the show, so the viewers can interact with one another, and since it's live, we can actually interact with the viewers as well, and they can interact with us, and so it's kind of this social thing that we wanted to incorporate. We wanted there to be news, we wanted to review some of these high-end yo-yos on a weekly basis, and we wanted to make it social so that we could bring people together.
And kind of the technical things around that, we allow people to actually email in news. They can send in videos that will feature in between the different segments of the shows. We just started a new segment called Metal Makeover, where people can send in, kind of like Pimp My Ride. Mm-hmm. They'll send in their broken, battered yo-yos, and we have somebody who modifies them and will feature them on the show. So we're always kind of coming up with new things and just other ways to engage the community. We're kind of working on trying to do live Skype calls so we can get some of the yo-yo makers who are in other countries or here in the United States, but just a little too far out of the reach to interview as well.
You started off online on Ustream, right?
Yep.
And then you've made your way now to doing it in our studio. Is that kind of always the progression that you had in mind, or were you thinking about just staying online mostly?
That was the progression that we had in mind. We started off in a porch in my house, and as it got colder and colder, we decided we were going to try and get into SCC here and have some studio space. Next up, we've got an email from Zella, our good friend over there in France. We missed a bit of news last week, and it's pretty important, so our friend Zella emailed us to remind us about it. He wrote to us, "Here is a collaboration with Ruyo and Rollout designed by me, Zella.
Hey.
It's a proto right now. We will send you specs when the final product will be done. Maybe you'll get the final version. See you soon. Keep up the good work, Zella." So we've got pictures here. It's a pretty.
So how long have each of you been involved in yo-yoing?
I've been yo-yoing for about 11 years now, almost 11 years. Yeah.
Okay. So I've been doing it since 15, so that'd be 11 for me.
Wow, it's quite a long time.
Yep.
It's pretty good by now, huh?
Nah. There's people that are a lot better.
We'll just say we're better than 99.9% of the population. You know, but once,
worse than 99% of like yo-yoers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, when you get into the yo-yoing community, it's just like anything, you know, speed skating or anything you see in the Olympics. You can be a good runner in your local community or in your state, but when it gets to the national world level, there's really some amazing people out there.
Yeah, very cool.
And we feature most of them on our show when they stop by or we go out to a contest.
Yep.
Speaking of which, what's your favorite part about doing the show?
Well, it's getting to meet people because, like I said, we try and get yo-yos in from manufacturers to review and stuff like that, and so that means I get to meet all these magnificent people that are making yo-yos around the world. We've got a manufacturer in Switzerland, Italy, a couple people in Italy that I get to talk to on a regular basis for the show, and you know, I wouldn't get to do that if I wasn't.
When you get to play with all their yo-yos.
And I get to play with all their yo-yos.
Free, right? Free yo-yos.
That's right.
Very good.
And there's the technical challenge as well, and obviously with social media, Facebook, Twitter, and all that kind of stuff, we're trying to really work on all those things to build the community. And one of the things is every 10 to 12 years, yo-yoing kind of has this resurgence, and we'd really like to kind of be at the middle of that so that we can keep it going instead of waxing and waning. It's sticks around. So.
That kind of leads into my next question, but and it's kind of the reverse of the other one. But what's the hardest part about doing the show?
It's pretty much the exact same thing. Getting in contact with these people from around the world and getting them to send us product to review on a weekly basis. It can be difficult. Sometimes I've got like 5 weeks worth of yo-yos that I'm sitting on, and sometimes I got nothing.
Yeah, and on the technical side of things, just every feature or camera or different way that we distribute our podcast, we need another person or two or three. So making sure that we have a lot of people who are just really passionate about it, like to come in either for experience or because of the love of the sport. And we always have great guests. And luckily here in the Twin Cities, we have quite a few people who are actually really good at yo-yoing and like to do tutorials. And so if you'd like to learn how to do some yo-yo tricks, you can always watch our show as well.
Very cool. All right, well, I think that just about does it for us. I'd like to thank my guests, Dan Reifenberger and Josh Schlichting, for being with me here today. Be sure to tune in to Stringburn Live every Saturday, Channel 15 at 11 a.m. Back to you, other segment.